Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As you can see from my virtual background on my right-hand side, that's my colleague Nina. Well, this photo was taken in ARMA conference in 2015, Nottingham. So we presented a roto-moldable table. Unfortunately, it is not antimicrobial. I will explain what is unfortunate about. In today's presentation, I will give a quick introduction of the antimicrobial material. So at the end of the day, we consider, opportunities in the post-pandemic world. The supply and the demand. We surely have some demand of this antimicrobial material. Could we supply it? I think the answer is yes, we can. And a bit quick introduction of what does antimicrobial do and what's the testing say and what regulations are we following. So what are the applications, and last but not least, what is the cost? Okay, opportunities. We understand, in the current pandemic world, we have quite a few different demand, hence the supply comes on. And in the post-pandemic world, we love to help you roto-molders, to promoting your product, to add value. Obviously, as we have noticed, we have extra demand of the masks, ventilator, hand sanitizer. So as a matter of fact, I barely used the masks and the hand sanitizer before the pandemic. Now I'm using it every day, or at least the hand sanitizer every hour. And of course, not everything is really scientific behind. So for example, the toilet roll. So I still couldn't understand why the demand is increasing. But anyhow, we understand, for example, in rotational molding world, what about we have a table? Like my colleague Nina stands here, that was presented in 2015 ARMA in Nottingham. So if that table could be antimicrobial, we would be able to use it again in 2018. As some of you may remember, we only showed that table once in 2015. At 2018 in Germany, we couldn't show it. Simple reason, it has a foggy grow on it, so we couldn't remove it. So the table was somehow cosmetically damaged. We come to that point later. And for another quick example, we know the fish box, Australians like fishing. So what about the fish box? The roto-molded plastic container could, keep this unfriendly odor away for much longer period. So you put fish in, you don't really need to clean it thoroughly. So that will protect the freshness of the container, of course, your food as well. Okay, without further ado, let's come to the nitty-gritty of the scientific part. I understand every time when we talk about this science bit, that can be boring. So in order to make it interesting, I insert quite a few photos, and I will make it as simple as possible. So first, antimicrobial, what does it do? Basically, it is agent to prevent the growth of microbes. So of course, in the real world, we have different types of microbes. Here, I'll only touch base 3 of them. First, bacterials. As we all know, the bacteria can grow fast, everywhere, anywhere on the surface. For example, maybe more Queenslanders rather than Victorians and New South Wales or the rest of Australians happy to bring a plastic water bottle with them to keep hydrated. If you forgot to clean the bottle, let's say overnight, in the morning, you may smell something unfriendly. That's more or less because of the bacterial growth. They kind of produce a very offensive smell. So with the help of antimicrobial, it will prevent the growth of bacteria. And then let's move on to the second yellowish stuff on my presentation. Mold fogies, geez, you may see them anywhere, everywhere. They are green, darkish, grow. They could basically causing a stem and even damage the polymer. So unfortunately, like I mentioned a bit earlier, our lovely photo table in my virtual background. That one was become a bit yellow brownish. We couldn't present it again. So for now, we're adding antimicrobial in it. This particular application will last longer. And then last but not least on my presentation is algae. Well, I think most tank makers are very familiar with them. Basically, that's a green reddish things like a plant. They can grow where you have sunshine and where you have water. Basically, scientifically, let's say algae is not a plant. It's just a creature, between plant and a fungi. So basically, they can grow on the surface of plastics, like a water tanks, like a poly boat, or pretty much on the other surface, like a metal boat as well. So from our previous study, we understand antimicrobial agent could prevent the growth of it. Last but not least, I want to quickly touch base on the virus. Although that's a much bigger subject, we can't really explain too much details, but just consider the antimicrobial agent could react like alcohol-based sanitizer. So it's not only clean the surface, it also prevent the growth of some virus. Okay, let's carry on. So of course, we love to do some tests. We have done some tests, back to UK a few years back. So we have an antimicrobial grade called N272. It has been tested in a specific standard, ATCC 6538. So what does it do is it's using a reference, like a normal polymer. And another one is this antimicrobial version. So basically, we record the number of bacteria on the surface, as you can see on the y-axis here. So that's 1 million. It's the top end. So as long as the creators, the materials more than 1 million, so that's more like the maximum. Of course, in reality, this number will grow. And at the time zero, so we have 1 million materials on each, the normal polymer and antimicrobial polymer. So after 24 hours, this material has down to 1,000. So it's more like 1,000 times less in the first 24 hours. Of course, in the next 24 hours, so the number has gradually reduced. On the reference point, we believe this number just grew up, but in this test, we just consider 1 million is a top. So what that means to rotomolders or to our customers are, for example, if you have an antimicrobial table or antimicrobial chair, you do not have to clean it every day. It just self-clean itself. So probably you could do it every week, nice and easy. And now for this type of application, the coffee table, the bench, the nice designed furniture, we would recommend our molders, and our customers to use antimicrobial. So to prevent any growth, to causing cosmetic issues, to causing, unfriendly odor. So that's a very good application for us to consider. Okay, in terms of regulations, we understand, currently our antimicrobial additive has a European food grade and also has the USA food grade. Also, it's a USA environmental product agent approved. Regarding our Australian drinking water, AS/NDS 4766, it's currently not listed. And as a commercial justification, we could, and we will be able to add it in. So we just conduct a specific test. We are very confident our antimicrobial will tick the box. Okay, applications. We understand, in our current Australian New Zealand market, we could use quite a few different things with the antimicrobial. Here, what you're looking at is a green tank. So this size is roughly, 15 liters. It's a baby one. And basically for this specific polymer, we could use antimicrobial. And it prevents a growth of algae or any bacteria inside. So consider in the future, potentially, we could have a tank, a water tank, semi-transparent. The user could see the water level, and that material has antimicrobial, so it does not need to be 100%, shadow to the sunshine. So that's one thing for tank makers to consider. And the waste bins, in this photo, it's taken in UK a few years back. So basically, unfortunately, those bins are not antimicrobial. So they really stinks and are really not really a good application. So potentially, antimicrobial could be used for those waste bins on the street or at your yard. And hospital supplies, when you're looking at it, it's a product made by a UK roto-molder. This application is a hospital bedside cabinet. So it has antimicrobial additive in it. So it has been on the market for more than 10 years. It's a quite good product and a very good added value overall. Okay, let's moving on. So what we're looking at is a portable toilet in Amsterdam. So, particularly during the weekend, in the evening, after parties, drinks on the pub, people tend to pee everywhere. So Amsterdam City Council started putting this, toilet unit around the city. They can use it. As a matter of fact, I've seen similar stuff in Manchester, somewhere in UK, and myself. And this particularly material has a stone mortar spa effect. We are supplying the material for the rotomolder, so we could do the same thing in Australia. So this product could have antimicrobial agent in it, to prevent any unfriendly odor in the next day morning. So a good application for us to consider. And the playground equipment, of course, parents would love to have their kids play in a very safe and a clean environment. So consider if the playground roto-molded part has antimicrobial agent in it. It will clean itself, it will prevent any growth of bacteria and sun virus. It's very good for the kids, also for the family. Last but not least, with my colleagues' permission, I'm showing this, a very nice designed table and a chair outside last year's ARMA conference venue. So as you noticed, the chair is a little bit dark, maybe algae, maybe dust. So consider, antimicrobial additive could be used in the furnitures, indoor or outside, to prevent any growth of bacteria, foggy, and self-cleaning itself. So I would imagine that's a very good application for us to consider here. Okay, here just a quick summary of the applications. Furnitures, hospital supplies, portable toilet, bins, playground equipment. Okay, thanks for staying with me for so long. Here come to the cost. I wish I could say, this antimicrobial agent or the antimicrobial product, it's the same price as currently you are paying. No, unfortunately, as it's added value product, our production cost has increased a bit. So in order to work the best cost for your application, please ask our sales team, Paul, Ashley, and Mason. So they will be able to help you work out the best cost for your application. Thanks a lot. That will be the end of my presentation. Any questions are welcome.